Hey everybody, it's Chris Cater here. So today I want to go over inversions and some voicings and some sus chords that I use to make your piano playing hopefully sound a little bit better. So if you're using sheet music or a chord chart or a number chart, you're going to see the chords above the lyrics, and it'll just say, you know, if it's in the key of C, it'll say C, F, G, A minor, whatever the chord charts are. If you're using a number chart, it would say 1, 4, 5, 6. Again, the numbers would correspond with those chords. So what I want to show you is how I make it sound a little bit better, and I use inversions. So if you don't know what an inversion was, I'll explain that real quick. So if you're in the key of C, a standard chord is going to be a 1, 3, and a 5. Inversion, all it is you play the same chord, but you play it in different arrangements. And so instead of playing your 1 down here, you're going to bring it up an octave. And so now instead of 1, 3, 5, you're going to bring it up here. So now it's 3, 5, 1. So that's your first inversion. Your second inversion, you bring your third note up an octave. So now it's 5, 1, 3. And that's all it is. And if you do it one more time, you bring your G up an octave, you're back to your root chord. So it's your root, first inversion, second inversion. The second thing that I use is called sustain chords or sus chords. And so the two most popular ones are a sus4 and a sus2. So all that is if you're in your root note, you're going to replace your third note by hitting the fourth note in that major scale. If you're doing a sus2, you're going to replace the third note with the second note in that major scale. So that's a sus2, that's your root chord, and that's your sus4. It also works with inversions. So here's your root chord. If you jump up to your first inversion, your sus4 is going to be right here, your sus2 is going to be right here, and then your first inversion, the root, or the first inversion will be right here. Jump up to the second inversion. Here's your sus4, here's your sus2, and then back to the second inversion. Go up one more octave, here's your root, sus4, sus2, back to your root. So I use a combination of those to play these chords that a little bit differently. So, and I use the major chord scale. And so basically what that is, the most popular chords that you'll see in worship music is going to be your 1 chord, a 2 minor, 1 over 3, 4, 5, 6 minor, 5 over 7, and then you're back to your 1. So how can we play those different? There's 3 ways that I'll go over with you. The first one, it's actually really simple. Your hand stays on the root chord, and you're just bouncing between a sus4 and a sus2 and the root chord. So those are the 3 versions that you play on the right hand as the left hand walks up and down that major chord scale. So it looks like this. Here's your 1. So instead of a 2 minor, you're going to do a 1 sus4 over 2, and then it's a 1 over 3, and it's a 1 sus4 over a 4. But that's actually a 4 chord with a sus2. So if you look at here's your 4 chord, here's your sus2, and instead of playing in the root position, you're going to play it in the second inversion, which would be, that's your first inversion, and here's your second inversion. You just bring it back down an octave. So 1 sus4 over a 4 bass is the same as a 4 sus2. You're just playing it in a different inversion. So long explanation, but that's what it is. Then let's see. So 1 sus4 over 2, 1 over 3, 1 sus4 over 4. Now you're going to do 1 sus2 over 5, 1 over 6. And this, just so you know, this is a 6 minor 7. So if you look at a 6 minor, it's going to be right here. Take it up 1 inversion, so that's going to come up an octave. So that's your A minor, or your 6 minor, and you add the 7 on it, which is a 1 chord. So a 1 over 6 is an A minor 7, just so you know. So 1 sus2 over 5, 1 over 6, 1 sus2 over 7, back to your 1. So if you speed it up, and you walk back down, So that's the first way I do it. Now, a good practice is to know this in every key. So if you're in the key of D, walk back down. Ah. Key of E, F, G, A, B. So it's important to know it at every key based on what, just because it'll help you be a better piano player. Okay, so that's the first one. The next one I do, it's going to be the same progression, but my inversions are going to be a little bit different. So here's how it goes. That's it. So it's a 1. Now, I'm only playing 2-note chords on my right hand. And the reason I'm doing that is because the bass note is acting as the middle note that I'm not playing with my right hand. So instead of playing a full C, and you can do it, this is the way I like to do it. I usually don't like to have 2 notes in the same chord if they're really close together. So I'll take that middle note out because my bass note is that note. 5/7, so that's a G over B. Here's your 6 minor. Here's your 5, 4, 1/3, 2 minor, 1. You can walk back up. 1/3, 4, 5, 6 minor, 5/7, 1. And again, try to know it in every key. My goodness. It means I got to practice more. Okay, so that's the second one. The third one, you're going to use a lot of octaves. So here's how it's going to look. Here's your 1. So you're going to hit 2 octaves and the 5th. And your 5/7, you're just going to take your octaves and move them up a whole step. That's your 5/7. Here's your 5 chord. Take out the 3rd and play the octave. And then it's a 1/6 with your octaves. And this is going to be a 5/4. So here's your G. So here's your root, here's your first inversion, here's your second inversion, and you add the sus4 with it. Now in this, I'm actually playing the 3rd and the 4. Sometimes you can just play the 4th, but the way I do it here, I like to play both of them. Here's a 4 sus2. So here's your 4, sus2. We're not playing the 3rd in this case, and I'm adding the octave. And then 1/3, and then a 4 sus2 over 2, and then 1. Walk up. Again, try to note in every key. Oops. So that's it. I know I made some mistakes in there, but it just shows you I have to practice more. We all need to practice no matter how good we think we are. So I hope that helps you guys. You know, I'm just trying to come up with ways to help you try to expand what you're doing, show you a couple different tips and tricks and stuff that I use. So anyways, that's it. Have a great week.